Rivals brought to you by Utah Ice Centers has arrived, and we are going to start a new segment on the show called What If? Okay, so our first
Could be
foray
crazy.
into this, yeah. So kind of, what if I had gone to BYU, how things would have been different? What if,
Might have a Heisman Trophy.
it's a possibility.
It's
Who knows?
definitely a possibility.
So we went back in time a long time ago, and we found a photo of Jason. Actually, Jason found the photo, and he was so kind to share
Look
it
at
with
that.
us. This is Jason Buck in high school, okay? Trying to be Fran Tarkenton. Of course, you got
Yep.
the number 10
Got
there.
the number.
Huge Vikings fan growing up. And if you
I
look
loved
at the
it.
photo, if we could go back to the photo blown up here, as I looked at it, see how Jason's wrist is actually cocked in. If he could have just turned his wrist out,
Yeah.
what would have happened? Well,
Yeah.
not only that, but if he'd actually thrown the ball holding onto the laces,
Held on to the laces.
maybe, just maybe, so his wrist is like this.
And
if
the
he went like
threads are in the
that,
palm of my hand.
right? If he
Oh my
just
goodness.
changed that part of his life, what would it have been? What if that would have happened?
Dude, because I didn't know. I mean, you got to go to Gifford Nielsen camp and learn all this cool stuff, and I was milking
Well,
a cow.
we had indoor plumbing too.
Yeah, indoor plumbing, and I did sleep out on the ground a while. But I was I was coached by Jed Clampett and the Beverly Hillbillies. I was rolling into town in that Beverly Hillbillies truck, and I had to sleep. I just knew I wanted to play quarterback, and I just taught myself. I literally just had no teaching. I had a football. That's all I had.
What if you actually? What had it been different? What do you think would your life be? I mean, just think about it, Jason. You could have my life right now if it would have
the
been
quarterback
different.
life.
You could be like me.
I'd only have half as much CTE.
It's just
And
half as much.
The damage would be about half as bad.
I don't know about that. I'm just telling you right now, the CTE kind of gets spread around
gets
equally.
spread around.
Yeah.
The
Quarterbacks
big
are not
shock.
immune.
You
to,
know what, Scott? I think
you
about
could
it
have
sometimes.
listen, you could have gone to practice without a chin strap.
Oh. And
You
just-
actually might be a halfway decent golfer now.
and played halfway decent golfer, played twice as many years, definitely as a quarterback. You last longer, stay fresher. But, I thought about it many times. I'm like, the life I led and just the adversity and the harshness of it, it gave me the mindset of a defensive lineman.
Oh, no, you could have been just an angry quarterback.
Oh, I would have been a very angry quarterback. I don't know if it would that have worked though, because
of course it would have
I
worked.
had such a rage inside of me.
Right, and you could have had this whole new you'd be like a transforming type of player. Like Lawrence Taylor transformed the game kind of guy, and you would have been the quarterback that would have transformed the NFL.
Dude, I was
just
psycho.
like ninja crazy.
I remember running QB sweep in high school. Man, I turned the corner and I just looked for people. I headhunted to hit people when I had the ball. And I turned that corner. I hit some DB safety type, and I put them out of the game. Man, they're laying there twitching, and I stand up over and I'm just like, ah! I was loving it. Is that a quarterback?
Of course it is. You would have transformed the game of football.
Oh,
You'd have been
definitely
this
would have been a different breed of
like they
quarterback
talked about
on a
Todd
play.
Marinovich, the robo quarterback. You'd totally been like you'd have been the action figure, the superhero, the new
beating the heck out-
Thor Ragnarok superstar quarterback.
I would love the
Changed
Thor
whole
Ragnarok
thing.
quarterback, the violent
you would have
quarterback.
You would have changed schemes. So you know how they have the
definitely
spread
change
offense.
schemes to try to
You just
fit me.
change- Yeah, it's like how do you take care of how do you deal with Jason?
Somebody
Buck?
this big and physical.
Yeah.
I did think about it because I thought if I would have had the coaching and had the opportunity, because I went to BYU camp the year after that, the year at my senior year, and was coached by Doug Scoville. And the first time I was taught to throw hold the ball like you said, with the wrist correct and hold the threads. And I still have a certificate in a chest at home that says most improved quarterback, and signed by Lavelle Edwards at the BYU football camp. And so I was like, and Scoville came up and talked to me after camp and said, you're going to be first team All-State Oregon. And I'm like, oh yeah, man. I thought
just bought right into it.
Oh, I so bought into it. Scoville was nice to me. Lavelle, was nice to me. I thought I was going to be the guy.
Yeah. So I just want to point out one thing in your picture. Okay?
What?
That
My
really
socks?
could have changed it. Yeah, it's the socks. Okay?
You see the socks?
The blue stripe does not fit anywhere, and I'm not super color coordinated as it is. Like I'm not the
Look at
fashion
my
guy
blue
in the world.
socks.
But the blue socks, yeah.
And my cleats that I had for 3 years in a row there. But you know what? My family sacrificed so much for me to just be able to play. I mean, Mom and Dad never got to go to my games. So they didn't have enough money to pay to go to the games, and they'd listen to it on the radio. And And we just save up every dime so I could pay the football fees to play. And
All right, well,
it was fun. I mean, I'm glad I did it. It was a great experience in my life, but I just never had. Quarterback requires so much coaching,
intelligence,
right? Early,
yes,
all the
knowledge,
fundamentals
skill,
early on, right?
Yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah.
And you know what? You walk into college and you're just a big 6'6", strong, fast guy, and they're just like, dude, you're too much of a
They're
stud.
like, go play defense.
Yeah, they're too much of a stud to play quarterback. That's for the sissy guys. You're going to go over to defense. That's what they told me at Rick's. You're going to be this big NFL D lineman. And I was like, okay.
Okay, there's the flip side to this. So I also went to high school, and I also have a high school picture.
Yeah, let's see it.
And there I am. Oh,
look at that.
At that right there, Jason.
See?
I don't know that I want to do a what if there, because it's like, why change any of that?
No, man, you're sexy. And it's like big high school and golden boy. Everything was good.
Do you know what the towel said?
What the towel said?
Rippin' Red Rage.
Oh, Rippin' Red Rage.
Yeah, but,
I like the rage.
Yeah, yeah. See,
I like that.
We played football like that. In fact, when I was in high school, the first 3 plays of the game, they ran quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
Because I was so
big
I
and
was
physical.
so out of the mold like you.
Yeah.
I get so jacked up for a game, they had to calm me
To
down.
settle you down by
so
taking
they
some
just run
hits.
me into the line of scrimmage about 3 times.
And you won the state championship that year.
Yeah, in fact, I'd run into the line of scrimmage 3 times and we'd score a touchdown.
So he won the state championship. I went 1-7 that year. The year of that picture, I went.
Do we
I won
really
one
want to do this
football
what
game.
if? Because I'm kind of liking where I am. I can't. What if? I don't know. What if what? You know.
What if?
The little football there on the piece of carpet.
Oh yeah.
We wore those around our necks for an entire year. So our junior year, we lost in the first round of the playoffs, and we said
Okay.
we will not lose again.
Okay.
And we committed ourselves, and we swore on, everyone took an oath that everything you do this off season, you will make sure you never miss a workout. You never, we stopped drinking soda pop, we stopped dating girls. I mean, everything.
Really?
The whole thing. Didn't do it.
This is your senior year picture?
This was my senior year of high school.
Okay, so that was in '85.
Yes,
right?
the fall of '85.
The fall of '85 when I was playing. I was WAC Defensive Player of the Year at BYU, and
Was that your first year at BYU?
My first year at BYU out of Rick's. So I was WAC Defensive Player of the Year and an All-American that year, and then won the Outland the next year when you were
what if
at Utah.
I would have been like you? Because see, I'm not even holding the football there. It's just
Yeah. You know what? We're both about almost the exact same height and the exact same type of, really very similar in our whole athletic build. I just went big and D-line.
You know, my socks, you don't see them in the picture, but they do match.
Do they do match?
Yeah, they do match, yeah. They're actually blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if? You know what? The only thing, you don't have the beautiful mustache that I had at that age.
We didn't have a mustache.
Yeah. If you look at my picture, it's really, you got to look close. It was a nice light mustache.
Yeah,
it was a smaller
and you'd
version.
been growing it for what, 3 years before, to get it to the...
I could claim a mustache
afternoon
my
shadow?
sophomore year. The chicks were digging my mustache my sophomore year, but it was just a nice little fuzzy one that was just dark enough that got the chicks.
So what if I was a defensive lineman and I went your path and I went to BYU?
Ooh,
And
we could have been.
what if I won the Outland Trophy
After me?
after you?
Ooh.
And then there was this whole rivalry between who was the best defensive lineman ever at BYU.
That's...
See, and the reality is that Jason wouldn't like me now because I would have been a better defensive lineman.
No.
And he would have had all this jealousy and he would say all these
See, we're
hateful
able to
words
see,
to
but you know
me.
what? Here's the magic of it. If I would have played quarterback, I would have been better.
Better
Better
than
quarterback.
What? Than me?
Yeah.
Oh, not in a million
I would have
years.
had a lot more sass.
Better in your
I would have just
brain.
pummeled people. I might have ran for more yardage. Might not have throw a little bit less, run a lot more. That would have been
Fran
that would have been-
Tarkington, there you go.
Fran Tarkington.
All right, well-
You know what? It all worked out good. I'm very glad. I loved quarterback. I was throwing it through the tires, wrong. I was working out every day to be a quarterback, wrong. All through those years out on the farm. I made my sisters run routes across the hayfield, and I'd hit them with the football.
Did they catch him?
No, they were targets for me.
Or you just hit him?
They'd be running back and forth crying, and I'd be hitting them with the football. And I'm like, don't tell Mom. It was just like I had nothing. So it was meant to be. I got to be a D lineman.
So you developed a work ethic. You developed
the work ethic.
A non-excuse attitude.
Oh,
it's like, if I'm
I
on
never
the
made an
farm and I
excuse.
need a target, if I have to use my sister's, a tire, whatever, I'm going to
Sisters,
get it
little
done.
brother. I was going to get it done. I was climbing ropes. I was tackling calves and pigs. I was doing whatever I could to be a football player. And it was just nobody there but, me and my poor little siblings that got beat up a little bit. And I love them, and they love me. Don't think they tease me at family reunions, but there's a lot of love with my siblings, even when I'm beating them with footballs.
It would have been interesting to see what would have been. What if we would have actually changed positions? Be a fun thing, kind of fun.
It
to talk
turned out
about.
right, though.
We have some other fun.
You would have been a really good D lineman.
We have some other fun what if moments we're going to share with you down the road. Anyways, Rivals is now off to
our corners.
Yes, so you can text Rivals to 65537, go to all those social sites and like us. And of course, be smart, dial us in on our smartphone. This round is over.
And we're off to our corners.
He's Jason Buck.
And he's the awesome Scott Mitchell.
We'll catch you soon.